Happy August, and welcome back to the Hunter's Quilt Mart Heirloom Bloom Block of the Month. This month we are working on Block 8. I will be completing it using the Bluebird's Nest fabric line, and here it is using Parlor and Ambiance. It uses fabrics 1, 5, 7, 8, and 9, and I'll be labeling each part as we go along to help you out. The full instructions and exact measurements can be found on page 21 in your pattern booklet. Let's get started. So I have all of my fabrics pressed and ready to go, and we're going to start with fabric 1. I'm going to take all of these out of the way. Fabric 1, I've already taken, and it has a selvage on it. You're going to have this piece is going to be the half of the width of the fabric. So I've taken this piece and I folded it in half and then in half again, leaving the selvage farther out. And I went ahead and pressed this so it was nice and flat. And I'm going to start by trimming up 2 of the edges. So I'm just going to lay my ruler on there, making sure that I have this fold that's right there and the selvage is past that. So these 2 edges are squared up, and now I'm going to turn it around so that my straight edges are on this side, and I need to cut 2 long rectangles. So we're going to start by cutting 2 long strips each. Remember that these measurements are on page 21 in your pattern booklet. And there's our first cut. There's our second. And then I'm going to spin these around and line them back up. And now you'll have 8 rectangles from fabric 1, and those are going to be labeled A. And now we're ready for the other fabrics. And all of these fabrics, there's 4 of them, 5, 7, 8, and 9, and they're all going to get the same cut. So I'm going to stack them all up on top of each other. And I'm going to begin by squaring up 2 of the sides. And then I'm going to take the whole thing. Okay, I'm just going to spin it this way. My top is square, my side is square, and we need 1 large rectangle from each fabric. trim off that piece first, and then I'm just going to pull it this way. This is the straight edge that I already squared up. And there's all of our large rectangles. And then I need 2 long stripes because we need 4 squares. From these fabrics. So there's 1. And there's 2. This is my trimmed up edge, so I'm going to straighten them this way. Then we're cutting 2 more. Okay, and we're going to label these, but it's really not going to be necessary. You either have a big piece or you have a small piece. So the large squares for 5, 7, 8, and 9 are going to be called, for 5 it's B, 7 is D, 8 is F, and 9 is H. And then your little squares for B, that's going to be C, E, G, and I. And now we're ready to sew. To make this block, you're going to use the matching pieces from the same color of fabric. I'm going to show mine with fabric 9 just because I think it's easier to see. You're going to start with your small squares and you're going to flip them over and draw a diagonal line across the back. You're going to be sewing right on this line, so make sure it's okay for you to see it, but it's not going to be seen on the other side of your fabric. And then you're going to take one of your rectangles from your background fabric, and you're going to line these up so that the diagonal lines will start in the middle and go out towards the corners. So you want them to look opposite. And then we're going to take this to the sewing machine. So we're going to sew right on that diagonal line. If you're using the diagonal seam tape, you want your points to go right to the red line. And I like to sew mine just like 1 thread width closer to the corner that I'm going to cut off. So there's one corner, and now I'm going to flip it around. This is where you might want to double check. You want to make sure that one of them goes up this way. The other one we're going to start at the corner and come inside. So there's our little piece. I'm going to set the seams, and I like to turn mine back and make sure it's lined up perfectly on that corner before I trim it. And then you're going to trim 1/4 inch away from your seam line. So I'm lining up my 1/4 inch right on my seam line. And then you're going to cut away so that when you fold it back, it creates the stitch and flip corner. And you're going to make 2 of these using all 4 of your colored fabrics. And then you're going to take them to make a little spool, and you're going to make 4 of these little units that will look like this. So we're going to flip this over to go on this side. When you're making a long seam like this, sometimes it's good to pin the corner just so it doesn't pull. And then I'm going to flip this one this way, and I'm going to pin this corner. And let's stitch those together. All right, so we're going to line up this corner. Making sure it's lined up right there. When you're doing yours, this would be a good chance just to chain piece and do one right after the other. I'm lining up those corners again. And for this one, we are pressing towards that large rectangle in the middle. So we're going to place that on top and then fold it back. And then I'm going to do the other side. Go over it again, make sure it's nice and flat. And there's your little spool unit. And you're going to make 4 of those. And then you're going to take all 4. Number 5 is going to lay on its side and go like this. Number 7 is going to be opposite it. Number 8 will be down this way. And number 9 will be up here. And then all we have to do is sew this together. Okay, these corners right here are going to nest. Those corners are lined up, and I can feel that it's nested right behind it. Press it to set the seam. The bottom is going to go to the left. And your top one is going to press to the right. And then we're just going to sew these two together. Okay, I'm going to match these seams, and again, those are going to nest. Your seams in the middle will nest as well. There it is. We're going to set the seam. And this is one that we're going to press open. I've already snipped that little thread right there in the center. And there it is. That's the completed block. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next month for block number 9.